Well, very good to see you. Big Social Security news. Insolvency now projected for 2032. That means your benefit could be cut by 22%. According to a new trustees report, ongoing tax revenue would only cover 78% of scheduled benefits after that fund is depleted. So what does that mean though? Because a lot of people assume then that in 2032, they won't get a check, but that's not quite it.
Right, Aaron, that's not quite the case. The way it's basically on track to break down now is that if that trust fund does run out of money, as it's anticipated to in 2032, which is now just about 6 years from now, snuck up on us pretty quick, then you receive a portion of your benefit. And right now, that estimate is about 78% or so of what you would have originally received.
Mm-hmm. Right. And for the average person, that's going to be about $500 for their monthly check. That's according to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. So does that mean then that we should claim as soon as we're able at 62?
You know, I can see why some people would think that, I need to get mine while I can, before it all goes away. Of course, as American taxpayers, most of us opted into this system and didn't have a choice. And we've been paying into it most of our working lives, if not all. But one thing that I will point out, and this is kind of our in-house view here at our firm, is that it is a matter of national security to a degree. The folks that are living on Social Security, there's a good part of our country that's the only benefit that people get. That's their only income in retirement, and so these people are already feeling pressure on their wallets with inflation and everything that we've seen over the past several years. So I find it personally hard to believe, just a personal take here, that Congress is just going to let this happen and then people just see a reduced benefit. But with that being said, you want to prepare. You want to be ready for anything because you never know what will happen. And you can see right here, if you do take that benefit early, you're taking on a permanent reduction in your benefit.
Right.
So whether they fix it or not, you're going to take a reduction by taking it early.
Possible solutions to keeping the fund solvent include increasing the retirement age, decreasing benefits, increasing payroll tax revenue. Which, if any, of those propositions do you think we will see? And then how will that change retirement income planning?
Right. Yeah. So I think that with the shortfall being what it is, I think they're going to have to do a combination of changes across the system. One of those, Aaron, that you've pointed out to me before is that, right now up to 85% of your Social Security can be counted as taxable income if you make a certain amount outside of that. But it could be 100%. They could bump that up. One area that I do see possibly getting some changes is the current wage base. Right now it's about 184,000 or so of your W-2 wages that you collect, you're taxed and paying into the system up to that amount. After that, if you're making 500, 600, 700,000, you're not paying the whole excess part of that. So I can see maybe part of that area being adjusted as well. And the last thing I'll throw out there, Aaron, is that the last time we had a legislated age change in terms of when you could file for Social Security was actually during the Reagan administration. His administration was the one that bumped us from 65 to 67. And that really only went into effect here recently over the last few years. So the changes are usually slow.
Yeah, right. So just to kind of recap, Social Security benefits are funded by payroll tax receipts and the trust fund. Once the trust fund is tapped, the government will only be able to pay benefits equal to the incoming payroll tax revenue under current law, meaning those benefits will face cuts, even if Congress does nothing, which they're very good at doing. So what do we do now to prepare?
Well, at the end of the day, you want to build a plan that doesn't rely entirely on Social Security benefits at all. I mean, you want to make sure that's a part of the puzzle, of course. And we've worked hard for those benefits and we've paid into that system for a long time. So you want to make sure that you're getting the most that you can out of it for yourself and your family. It makes total sense. But, with clients that are getting ready to retire now, this is a very prominent conversation. I mean, it's at the forefront of a lot of people's minds when we're talking about retirement. And so we can play, whatever game we want to play with the analysis software. And we can say, hey, what if we have a 50% reduction?
Right.
Does your plan hold up? I mean, how are we going to invest or allocate your assets to make up for that lost income? So you want to be very deliberate in your planning right now, especially with this big question mark hanging over us.
Absolutely. I do believe changes are inevitable. So, Kyle, if somebody would like to sit down with you, talk through creating alternate income streams in retirement so that they're not stressed out by whatever happens with Social Security, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. The best way is through our website. That's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com.
Great. Kyle, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Aaron.